All right, take two. Welcome back to Astro Brie Astrology. It's been a minute, but I am back with some astrology now that Mercury retrograde is almost over. I say that as I'm recording this for the third time attempt. And I really want to get into this Venus retrograde because it is really important. It is going to change the lives of many people. It's a really good time to get yourself into therapy or finding a new outsource of journaling or something specific to help you tap into what you're emoting and what you're feeling. Venus will retrograde. She will first take her first pass. November 18th is when she'll hit the spot that she will eventually go back to. This is called the shadow zone. So she's going to start shadow on November 18th, and a month later in December on the 18th will be the full moon, and she will start her retrograde. She'll actually be at 26 degrees tropical Capricorn. She'll be with Pluto. And as I said in my slides, in Greek mythology, we see Pluto and Persephone as this connection. And whenever Venus comes into Pluto territory or goes into Scorpio, there's a very deep commitment involved in the way that she's making promises, in the future that she is providing, and the energy that she is harmonizing with is serious business. Okay, and that is no joke here. There may be death on the table, there may be debt on the table, there may be lies, secrets, health. There's going to be a lot brought up once she's there. So mark your calendars for November 18th because you will be getting a little bit of an influence on what's going on and why she's about to do this over the next few months. And like I said, this is going to go till March, okay? We are not completely out of her shadow period until March 2nd. I kid you not. And at that point, we're deep into Pisces energy. So we have a whole mutable corner because the sun is currently in Sagittarius when all this starts. We're going to be dealing with a lot of Saturn-based issues. And by that, I mean restrictions on time, how we deal with the elderly, promises that we make, and commitments that we've promised. These are going to be the big forefront and really standing in what you own and what you have to offer. So let's get deeper into the chart. Like I said, Saturn is a big influence here, and there is a semi-sextile to the sun, meaning that we're not going to be avoiding, there'll be no way to avoid getting our pride hit here when Sun and Saturn are working together, especially fire, air, and air energy as they are in the tropical chart. We see a lot of hot words. We see a lot of cutting off, a lot of hot energy coming up. Hot-tempered and really stubborn. Saturn in Aquarius is absolutely sure about what they want. So going forward, we have a brazen kind of forced energy. The moon and sun will be in opposition in the mutable axis tropically. So we're looking at a Sagittarius sun, I know everything, let's have it all fun, everybody just burn those down, to a Gemini moon, which is questioning everything. Now, Gemini moon is insecure about everything. Okay, the fact that they don't know all the things makes them insecure because they come off knowing a little bit of everything. And there is, because we're talking about the moon, not the sun here, this is an emotional pull. These people feel interconnected with every single person that they meet, and therefore they feel a little bit of shame or a little bit of pain or a little bit, whatever that person is feeling, they can pick up on that. They may not be a water sign, but being mercurial gives you, and all of us really, because we will be all experiencing this, there will be a very big reception in information emotionally if we let ourselves. Being that the moon is at the bottom of the chart, this is going to be something you have to choose to tap into. It's not going to be up in your face like the sun and Mars. Let's get into that. So Mars will be with the nodes. The nodes are the eclipse points in a chart. If you don't know anything about nodes or north node, feel free to contact me. We can talk more about it. But in this case, Mars will be with the south node. When Mars is with the south node, we have hot tempers everywhere. Okay, we're talking about people running their mouths, people saying things they don't mean, rushing to judgment, and this is in the house of shared debts. Okay, so trigger warning, money issues, gonna be a problem, okay? This Venus retrograde is talking about worth, self-worth, value. And I say this because Chiron is making aspects. Chiron is making strong aspects to Mars, and it's sitting in the first house. So that's shame and identity and feeling like the caregiver that never gets taken care of. That energy is it's sitting in the first house of identity for this chart. So we will all be identifying with where we don't feel valuable and worthy. Neptune is on the ascendant of this chart, making a square to the sun and the moon. There will be spiritual influences, musical influences, artistic influences that give you goosebumps, that bring you to an ethereal place where you can accept these challenges of what was and what and what is coming. Jupiter is also sitting in the 12th house, making strong aspects to Mars in the south node and the north node in the second house. Again, this is about values. North node, second house, Uranus in the second house. We are learning to appreciate ourselves on a generational level. We're learning to appreciate ourselves for who we are in this moment. Not who we were supposed to be, not who we plan to be, but who we actually are. We're taking stock and value in that uniqueness. And that value of communicating it outwards is definitely going to cause some flare-ups, okay? There will be arguments. Jupiter sitting in the 12th house, making those aspects, giving us a lot of chance to be insightful here. There's a lot of chance to take what you've learned and expand your mind with it, expand your belief system, tap into the ethereal yourself. This is an excellent chart and time for doing any kind of seance or spiritual work where you're talking to your guides. Because Neptune's in the forefront here, squaring the sun and the moon, the veil will be lifted. The bullshit veil is gone. Now moon in the third house here, again, it's a little tricky because we are tapping into the basic understanding of our conceptions and how we come up with ideas and what we believe to be true and know to be true and know to be fact. This is getting tickled. It's getting emotionally tickled. This is what I can say. You will have a spotlight come down from source illuminating the fact that those rules are based in insecurities, which are based in trauma and fear of not knowing. Okay? It's not that you feel you need to just, like, I'm getting like people are just going to overspeak. They're going to overtalk when they need to just listen, when they need to just sit down with a piece of paper and write or create art. This is a definite time for channeling. I will say there is an aspect between Chiron and Uranus right now, which makes that shame flip on its head and gives you an ability to feel proud of your scars, to value the struggles and the bumps in the road that you've faced. It's giving you a real good chance to see how those line up. That ego problem of feeling like we're not good enough as a generation, as an entire society, is in alignment with the way that we're shifting and changing and evolving. Okay, so like working yourselves into being proud of the new ways that you think and provide information and insight to yourself. The ascendant is also in Pisces. This makes things, again, on a spiritual level, much more indicative of change and revolution and releasing. But I'm telling you right now, with the sun in Sag, Mars in Sag, South Node in Sag, Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, there is not a lot of room to be emotional here. Okay, we may have an emotional ascendant. We may feel this energy coming onto us in an emotional way, forcing us to release expectations. But after that, you got to use your thinker, okay? Because Cancer is not involved here, and neither is Scorpio. We don't have that access working for us right now, okay? So there is only the emotional understanding that you can get into because of the Jupiter, or because of Moon in the third house and then Jupiter in the 12th. We have to tap in and choose to think our way through these emotions. Like I said before, contracts obviously are going to go out the table if they are not set in stone. If there is not a strong, deep commitment to any kind of promises, contracts, these things will fade. They will just disappear over these weeks. This is supposed to be insightful in a sense that we are shifting how we act on a subconscious level. We are adjusting the way that we behave. We are catching our own triggers. We are stopping ourselves from following into patterns that we know are not good for us. That's where the drive needs to be. There will be a lot of pompous energy, though. I will not deny that. That kind of like, I just quit smoking, you should quit smoking too. That kind of energy, like, that will be there. And let it come and let it wash over you, and know that people are just trying to provide help and insight. I will say, with the node in the second house, there is a chance that money issues will pop up for everybody. This could also be a government type money provision, because there is so many accesses from Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. I feel like there could be another incentive for people to either to go back to work or not go back to work, like one or the other. There's going to be some kind of government incentive. Also because, again, we're dealing with Jupiter in the 12th house, right? We're dealing with expansion of the subconscious. We're not dealing with things that we can change ourselves. With Saturn and Venus and Pluto all being in the 11th house of, you know, extensions and networks and benefits, I feel like there could be another rollout on resistance when it comes to the vaccine updates, or any kind of money that's getting put towards people who are healing from vaccines. Being that I will say a little bit of prediction here. This was not in the slides, but looking at the chart, it's come to me. Being that Neptune is on the ascendant, sickness and illness and mystery will be risen to information. Like, people will be like, okay, why did that happen? Or now we know the answer to why that happened. And it will very much have to do with what people's rules are. And that's the information access of Sagittarius and Gemini being lit up, is that we're having this awakening when it comes to society's rules and society's faith, and in the particulars of what people consider their moral compasses. That's Sagittarius Sun. We're all kind of feeling happy in Sagittarius energy because it's pre-Christmas. A lot of people are Christmas shopping and such. No doubt this won't be much different, but we are looking at a different kind of Thanksgiving in America. We're looking at Columbus Day no longer being celebrated. We're looking at Black Friday being criticized. We're looking at world through different lenses, and we're starting to be given the opportunity to release. And that's really what this chart is about. So again, the first pass will be November 18th, and then December 18th is when she starts to retrograde. She will retrograde until she hits 11 degrees Capricorn. So that's 26 to 11. Anything in between there, if you have anything between 11 and 26 Capricorn, this is a massive chart for you. Feel free to take it and examine it. And if you'd like to have a personal reading, you know where to find me. But I will say, lastly, she's not completely done going over these stars until we hit March 2nd. We're talking 2022, 3-2, okay? She is not completely done. And March 22nd, you will have news. You will have all of the work that we had put in between November and March. You're really going to see that amplified and structured. So I will go into those charts more, and I will happily do some more astrology for all of my peoples. I'm so happy to be back at work. Thank you all so much for your support while I was gone, and I'm super excited to provide this happy chart to you guys. Release, be artistic, let it come, let it wash over you. Do not hold expectations of what you think you know, because really, we know nothing. Coming to you from Camelford. Have a wonderful day.